Hello and welcome. In November 2025, we published a Community Data Watch report on Rural Halton to take a closer look at the people, places, and changing landscapes of this integral part of our region. Using data from the 2021 Census of Population and Census of Agriculture, our report sheds light on the pressures of urban expansion, rising land values, and a transforming agricultural sector. Understanding these trends is essential to ensuring an inclusive and sustainable regional development. Join us here today in a conversation with Colton De Gooyer, who is the business operations manager of the Halton Agricultural Society. Our conversation covers some of the ways that the Society builds community through festivals, craft making, and convening of our neighbors from across rural Halton and the communities that surround it. We hope that you'll enjoy this conversation. If you'd like to find out more, check out links in the show notes to our Community Data Watch report on rural Halton, as well as contact information for the Halton Agricultural Society. Thank you. Okay. So, hello and welcome, everybody. I'm Stephen with Community Development Halton, and I'm here having a conversation about rural Halton with Colton from the Halton Agricultural Society. Welcome, Colton.
Thank you.
Is there anything you'd like to say in the way of introducing yourself and kind of what brings you here?
Yeah, sure. Just to give an introduction, my name is Colton De Gooyer. I'm the business operations manager for the Halton Agricultural Society, which owns and operates the Milton Fairgrounds, close to downtown Milton. I've been in this role now for about 6 months, and this role is essentially a role that was created within our organization to replace the secretary-treasurer role. So a lot of what I do encompasses things like financial management, invoices, financial audits, essentially just, helping the board of directors to set agendas, record meeting minutes, really to help execute, their strategy and the things that they would like to see to support rural Halton and as well as the community surrounding it. Yeah, I would be happy to answer any questions you have and give as much information as I can. Yeah, we'll take it from there, I guess.
Awesome. Well, in the realm of executing initiatives with the organization that you mentioned, is there anything that you're working on right now that you're most excited about?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a couple really exciting things going on. I guess the first I'd like to touch on is the Santa at the Fairgrounds event that's going on right now. This is an event that's been going on for, I want to say 3 or 4 years now. And we run it in the first 3 weekends of December. We have Santa Morgan here at the fairgrounds, and we essentially offer families the opportunity to come to the fairgrounds, take photos with Santa, and shop some of the local vendors that we have. A lot of these vendors are from Milton and other areas within the GTA. So you have an opportunity to really shop some locally crafted, curated goods, which is really cool. We have fire pits where people can enjoy roasting s'mores. It's really just a cool family event. And a lot of the community comes out to support it. So it is a great thing that I'm very proud that we put on. We're also working on getting a Canada Day event going for next year. So people who are familiar with Milton and Canada Day will know that we had to cancel last year's Canada Day event
Oh,
because we were lacking volunteerism and funding. This year, we have engaged the community. We've put on a couple town hall sessions, one which ran in October and another one that ran in November, where we invited the community to come to the fairgrounds and discuss some of the challenges that we face with the event, and kind of rally everybody's support and see if we can get some volunteerism for the event going. These first two town halls we've done have been a major success. I would say the first one, it kind of started off a bit slow, but by the second one in November, we could see that the snowball, ironically, we're in December, the snowball started to get rolling. And we've seen a lot more people turn out for the town halls, which is great. The community here in Milton is amazing. People are very willing to volunteer their time and put a foot forward and take on some additional responsibility to make sure that this happens. I think there is a lot of support for Canada Day here in Milton, and people want to see it happen. So I'm really excited about this. Um, we're at the very early stages of planning it, but it's looking like it's going to be a family-friendly event, which is going to run pretty much during the day and the afternoon. What will be changing this year compared to previous years we've done it is the nighttime portion and the fireworks. So we're not going to be doing that any longer, but we are still hoping to have a great family-friendly event that people can come out and enjoy.
That's really exciting. So there's like big events happening kind of all year round sort of thing, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. Like we have our three major flagship events are the Canada Day, the Santa at the Fairgrounds, and our big main event, I would say, the headliner, which is the Milton Fall Fair. This
Mm,
year, it was the September 26th, 27th, and 28th. And we celebrated 170th Fall Fair this year. So 170 years of Fall Fairs just absolutely blows my mind. Um,
70 years.
Big
Wow.
hats off to all the volunteers and everybody that participates in this and makes it happen. A lot of people don't understand that the Halton Agricultural Society is primarily a volunteer-run organization. We are a nonprofit. A lot of the stuff that gets put on is primarily thanks to people that volunteer and put in a lot of hard work and time without pay.
Wow. So a very community-oriented initiative, eh?
Absolutely, and also
Mhm.
something that preserves and kind of keeps the traditions of agriculture going. It's during the fall fair we display everything from livestock to pies to crafts that children make. I really do think that it's a great showcase of what agriculture has to offer in
Mm,
what is becoming increasingly more urbanized towns, right? Like as the populations grow and as people sort of come to call Milton their home, the town continues growing, and it's important that we still kind of pay attention to and I guess pay homage to the things that
mm.
really establish this town and really are very important to us as Canadians. Like without agriculture, we don't eat. So
Well, in the Milton Fairgrounds specifically, you'd mentioned like how far they dated back to. Um, it was
1853.
1853. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So predates Confederation.
I know it's really just blows your mind to think about.
Well, and something you touched on there, like I'll just kind of honor before I jump into the next question, because you mentioned the changing environment that we're in, the changing landscape, like literally and figuratively, like Milton specifically
Hmm.
is very quickly urbanizing and growing. And and yet it has, and it's baked into its identity, this really rich heritage in agriculture. Um, and I wrote down something you said that like what it is that agriculture has to offer. And like in these events that you're speaking to that you're putting on through the society, um, it really honors and showcases and engages people with that all those things that agriculture has to offer and like and what I'm hearing is sense of community that can sometimes be lost when an urban area grows. So that's really lovely. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
And is there, I mean, it might be self-explanatory, but like is there like a reason or two that as to why all of this is so important to you?
Well, personally, my family, we're farmers. I come from a farming background. I'm not a farmer at this present time. Like my parents uh, are not either. My grandparents though were. And I do feel a personal connection in that sense. Um, but I do feel that above and beyond just the agriculture and the farming aspect, I do feel very connected to a purpose, which is, just the community and having the togetherness that um, feels like more and more as time goes on, we as a society seem to be losing sight of.
Mm.
So I think working for an organization like this, like a nonprofit that does wonderful things in the community, is celebrated in the community and really values relationships and people the way that it does, more so than just a bottom line. That is really what resonates most with me, and that is what really appealed most to me about working for this organization. And I feel like the work that I do here has an impact in the community and in people's lives, which is really, it's very rewarding.
Mm-hmm. Like kind of building that purpose through coming together.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I that really I think speaks to the like gets at the heart of something rather than like you said just looking at the bottom line. Like
Mhm.
especially I find when we put on like events or initiatives like we can be so hyper focused on the outcomes we're trying to get out of it or the the impacts of the results or what have you, but sometimes it's like, well, but what does it feel like to just come together and like honor that shared kind of history or that sense of community or that and different people are bringing different things to the table like crafts or food or
Yeah.
whatever the case may be.
Yeah. It's a back to basics, if you will, like
Hmm.
just appreciating and celebrating the foundation of what we as a community have enjoyed in the past, and trying to honor and bring that, keep those traditions alive. I think is
Hmm.
very important.
For sure. So is there anything that's happening right now that you'd like to see more of?
Yeah, well, I can say that like even just us doing our town hall sessions that we've done for Canada Day in the early stages of planning, um, I would like to see more of that happen. I think within this organization, having these ways of reaching out to the community and gathering people. Uh, I've already seen in the couple times we've done it where I've been a part of this organization that it's been um, immensely valuable. When you have similar to like if you do a podcast, when you have a long conversation with somebody and you have very open-ended questions, you're having a conversation about ideas, opinions, things you'd like to see happen, and it's in
Hmm.
long form. So you can actually debate different points. You can appreciate different perspectives. You might even have your mind changed about something, which is I think really cool. And when it comes to community engagement, even with these town hall sessions we did, you could see that when we announced to the community, hey, we're a volunteer run organization. This is what the event is going to cost. People didn't quite, I don't think, had a fully
Hmm.
understanding of what that was, and once they did, I feel like their perceptions of things changed, their opinions of it changed, and they were more on board to support the organization and putting the event on. And you can see when people are maybe initially upset that there aren't fireworks, and you kind of talk through some of the reasons, like the fact that security and costs,
Hmm.
just stuff like that get taken into account, and you discuss that with the community, you can actually see the resistance that they might have initially start to change over the course of that conversation. So I get really excited about those community engagement sessions because I feel they're so much more impactful than just shooting an email to somebody, and just or just announcing something and saying, "Hey, here's what it is," and uh, you know, take it or leave it kind of thing. I think those conversations are incredibly helpful, and I'd like to see more of that. And I will be supporting more of that in the organization.
Hmm. I mean, you kind of got at this already, but like so you'd like to see more of those kind of direct engagement, long form conversations that really help people, yeah, not only explore multiple different topics and debates, but even, develop understanding or maybe have one's mind changed or have it evolve, right? And
Yeah.
so are there things that you'd like, want, or need from the community to make that more possible going forward?
I think just being active in your community is very important and is a good way to support um, these types of things like just having awareness of what's going on, talking to your neighbors, being involved, volunteering your time. These are all ways that you get to establish these networks of people and you get to, and they can lead to some really amazing relationships. If you were to come and volunteer with the Milton Fair, you're going to come out of that weekend, uh, A, exhausted because there's going to be
Yeah.
so much to do. But B, you're going to come out of that with a lot of new relationships and a lot of people that you've met along the way, which also support the same cause and have, similar values that you do. And I think that is really enriching uh, to people's lives. But yeah, I would say the best thing that could be done is just being involved in your community, being aware of what's going on, um, offering to volunteer, lend your support, lend a hand to your neighbor. These are all ways that you can really positively influence these things. Um, and I will say, like Milton, again, Milton is great for this. Um, you have to give a lot of credit to this community because even with these town halls we've had, we've seen a lot of people show up and really put a foot forward, put themselves out there, and I think that takes a lot of courage and a lot of grit, and I respect it. I really do.
For sure. Yeah, I was kind of just, as you were speaking to that, I was kind of running through my mind, like, what is it that helps people take that first step, like to all those good things? Like, and something that I've heard people say is, it could start with something as easy as, learning your neighbor's name. Um,
Yeah.
you know, um, I think about how, I live in Guelph here, and um I know my next door neighbor's names, but I don't know anybody else. And I live on a cul-de-sac. So it's like,
Hmm.
for me, I think like that next step would look like, just going around and meeting my neighbors and learning their names and going from there. But then sometimes it can mean, having a town hall and saying, hey, we really need volunteers. That's how we make the magic happen. And then some people might have that bravery to take the first step there. And
Yeah, absolutely. I like your point about the neighbors because yeah, that's definitely relatable, I think, to a lot of people. Where I live in my neighborhood, I have small kids, and there's a lot of people with kids in the neighborhood. So,
Mhm.
I know my neighbors directly, but I've gotten to know other people just by way of our kids interacting and going to school together, and it's really formed like a really like beautiful relationship I have where I live because we know a lot of people and a lot of people support each other. They're there for each other. Um, and that's great. And I don't want us to lose sight of that as people, because it seems like I was saying, like it seems like we're drifting further and further away from that, where people are more reluctant to want to engage with their neighbors or say hi to somebody on the street. And um, so yeah, I think there's a lot of ways, a lot of very small micro steps and things you can do to kind of go, in that direction and get involved with your
Hmm.
community. And like you said, it's as simple as just knowing your neighbors, lending a hand,
Yeah.
maybe shoveling somebody's driveway if you need to. If you live next to an elderly person and they can't manage it, then maybe lending a hand. These are things that are so important to us as human beings that we need to keep doing.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. Like, just thinking, and I think that those practices help us think a little bit more collectively too, and the things that we share as a community and the gifts that each person might have. And yeah, and like you said, through like the little ones too, right? Like you can connect with people like through the schools or at the park or these
Absolutely.
shared spaces, right? That you come together and like, and that's how I'm kind of thinking about the even like the um Christmas market that you mentioned at the fairgrounds, like
Yeah.
just the having a shared space that people access and engage with each other in, like it can really go a long way.
Absolutely, yeah. And our gates here at the Milton Fairgrounds are open. We were closed temporarily a little bit around the summertime, but we are open 24/7, 365. People come in here, they walk their dogs, they run the track. So you do get some opportunities where people actually bump into each other, have conversations, get to meet their neighbors, and I think that's
Hmm.
lovely. This is private property, but we open it up and allow the public to come here, which I think is great.
Hmm. For sure. Um, well, yeah, and if I can ask one final question, Colton,
Sure.
is there anybody else that's doing interesting work either with Rural Halton or for Rural Halton that you appreciate?
Well, there's a lot of organizations, and I probably am not going to do it justice, to be honest, just because I'm so new to the role. I'm not as familiar with everybody, but there's a lot of great organizations that sponsor the fall fair, whether that be green tractors, apologies, just something in my throat here. Green tractors like Moffitt's Scrap Iron and Metal. The list goes on and on. Um, there's a lot of people that will put forward, whether it's in-kind donations or sponsorship funding. Um, and they understand the cause and they support it, and they have been supporting it for many, many years. So
Hmm.
like I said, again, I'm not doing justice. There's literally hundreds of sponsors that support this organization. I only named a couple, the first ones that kind of popped into my head. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of people at play that help make this possible, and it's only because these organizations step forward, support, and the community supports with volunteering that things like the fall fair are possible to put on. So
Hmm.
we have to thank them for everything that they do. We also work with a lot of organizations that just do fundraisers and stuff here at the Milton Fall Fair. So one that comes to mind is the Hospital Auxiliary. They do
Hmm.
what's called I believe the Strawberry Fair, um, where they raise funds for the Milton Hospital. We've also worked with organizations that support like Milton Autism. Just trying to think what else there has been. Sustainable Milton has been very involved with us. They actually have a tree. What is it, like a tree garden that they've planted here that's got like
Okay.
100 little mini trees, which will eventually become a forest that they can, relocate and plant. So yeah, a lot of cool things happening, and the fairgrounds does get used for a lot of fundraisers and to support these types of events, which is really exciting.
Wow, that it's there's a rich diverse array of people and organizations doing all different things, eh? Like, and maybe
Mhm.
that could be a place that if folks want to know more about organizations that are again like part of or doing work for Rural Halton, some of those sponsors could be a place to start. And
Mhm.
um, is there a place for folks to learn more about the Halton Agricultural Society specifically?
Yeah, we have a website. It's www.miltonfair.com. So this is where we post information about the organization, our history, the events that we're running. Local vendors who want to get involved with us can actually apply on our website, whether that be for our Santa event
Hmm.
or our fall fair. Applications for fall fair are not open yet, but this is really a good place to go to start if you're a vendor and you want to get involved. So yeah, we also have
Okay.
our Facebook page, so we do post a lot on social media too.
Nice. Okay, that sounds great. Yeah. So then if anybody wants to learn more or get involved, those would be
Hmm.
some of the sites they could start with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, awesome. Well, thank you very much for this conversation, eh? And yeah, I definitely look forward to learning more about things going on in Milton and beyond in the coming months
Hmm.
um and to checking out the Milton Fairgrounds because again, I like it dates back to the 1850s and I've never been. So those two things alone make it a place I want to go to.
Oh
Um
yeah, definitely.
so that sounds groovy.
Well, if you ever come by, come visit the office and say hi.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, and check out the space and some of the history and
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
for sure. All right. Well, thank you very much and wish you happy holidays
Thank you. You as
and Merry
well. Merry
Christmas.
Christmas and Happy New Year.
Yeah, likewise.